Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm going to flip it to you, so you get over there. Yep.
Me?
Right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you may know or not, I am Banke the author. I am a new author, a new professor, a new entrepreneur, and a new wife all at once. And so we're coming up on, hi MJ, hi Alexandria, thank you so much for joining. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of A Night of Hood Elegance, which was an extraordinary book release here in Rochester, New York. And it was only possible because of the absolutely amazing, beautiful people that I know. So right now we're actually at French Quarter Restaurant, and they, let me flip it so you guys can see all of that. Alexandria says she looks forward to the thank you scopes. Thank you, boo. So we're at French Quarter Restaurant, an absolutely beautiful restaurant here in Rochester, New York. They do Creole food, and their prices are top-notch. As you can see, the decor is absolutely beautiful. The service is impeccable, and they catered A Night of Hood Elegance. So Brandy and I, we both love to frequent black establishments, so here we are. So let's get to Brandy. So I just want to tell you guys some quick things about her. She's a sister, okay? And I say that to mean that she is one who really lends support and mean it. Alexandria and I were talking about you before, and we said when Brandy comes out with a business or whatever, everybody in Rochester better be there because you support so many people. You have such a beautiful spirit. You do things that you don't have to do. MJ says, hey Brandy, whoop whoop, red team.
Oh, yes.
So she's so supportive, she's so dynamic, conscious, intelligent, beautiful, and she brings all these traits to everything that she does. And so I'm going to let you guys hear it from her mouth. Brandy, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would be so kind.
All right. Well, you brought my bio speech. I'm a native of Rochester, born and raised, Wilson Magnet graduate, and University of Buffalo alumni. So primarily what I'm doing right now, a little bit about myself, I am an assistant director for a supported employment program through the Arc of Monroe. I am a skill builder through the Villa of Hope, and my true passion lies in my work as a community doula with Birth Partners of Rochester. So a little bit about me more. I'm a mom of a 19-month-old who is very
adorable.
Yes, he's very handsome, but he don't let the smile fool you. So I'm enjoying new motherhood and all that comes with it, and also in efforts of obtaining my yogi certification. I'm trying to really package services together with my jewelry so that I can be most proficient to my moms that I serve.
Okay, Ellie says, Wilson, well, okay, y'all ain't gonna do all that on my scope, okay? Y'all ain't gonna do all that. But, so you said a couple of things, and here goes Trey, talks to Wildcats, Lord. They'll be overpowering my stat, okay? MJ, what's up with the jurors, though? Let's shout that out real quick. But you said a couple of things that I want to touch on. First, can you explain what a doula is?
Absolutely. So a doula is support for mom through her pregnancy process, primarily her laboring process, and then also some postpartum assistance as needed. We're there for physical and emotional support, advocacy, anything pretty much other than checking if mom is dilated and taking her blood pressure is what we can do. We're not medical. We lend that to the medical team. We truly enjoy working with midwives who understand that birth is a natural process that looks different for every mom, and that we are there to support that mom in whatever decisions she wants to occur on that day that are in the best interest of not only the baby but also her. So we're there to be that voice if mom doesn't have it, but also to make sure the voice that she does have is heard throughout the process.
And you used a doula when you had your son.
Absolutely.
And what was that experience like?
Amazing. Amazing. My family is tremendously supportive, and they were very clear with me that they weren't, interested in the gut and gore that can come with the labor process.
That's real.
That left me in a place of, oh, does that mean they're going to leave when that happens or not? I wasn't sure, and they weren't sure, and understandable. So I stuck out a doula. Like, I did my research. I looked for who and what could do exactly what I was looking for doula purposes. I got connected to a great cooperative, and I did some doula interviews. Unfortunately, the price that those doulas were charging were outside of my budget. Fortunately for me, though, being connected to that cooperative, they invited me to a holiday gathering where I met doulas from across the county, and actually got an email a week later with a doula wanting to take me for free. So that pretty much began my journey as a doula, because I immediately wanted to give back. I kind of already knew about, doulas from Erica Badu.
Right.
And, I was sold. She was there for me, with me, and us for 30 hours. As the process.
Is that how long the labor was?
That's how long my labor was. It was only active for 8 hours, but it was 30 hours from the point that my water broke.
Okay.
And she was there. And she did things for me that I doubt that my family would have been interested in doing. But she also empowered them. They did not leave. And I don't know if it was because it was like, what's this little white lady gonna do when we leave? Or if it was just seeing her strength, really help make them feel strong in their ability to stick it through with me. So that's what happened.
So I want to ask about a doula specific to the Black community. For sisters out there who are just hearing about this for the first time, my brother and his wife are thinking about, she's thinking about using one, and my brother was like, oh, you ain't about to do that witchcraft for my baby. And I'm like, okay. So can you just dispel any myths and explain why do we need that service?
Oh my goodness. So if you open up your history books
get it now
and look at how birth and labor occurred before we had all of this fancy medical technology, even hospitals. We were home, and our bodies know what to do. We were made to do this. So in that, it was always a team of moms, elders, women who have witnessed and been a part of many births before, around that laboring mom to help that baby come out. We absolutely encourage partners to be a part of that process, because that's a part of the intimacy of, how the baby was created and getting that baby on out.
Right.
We, as doulas, are charged with helping that partner serve mom in the best way in that labor process, whether it be showing partner how to better massage mom in a certain way, or maybe you want to lower your tone a little bit, or that cologne you got on is strong, maybe you want to wash that off. Little subtle hints that people just don't think about, and it's not because I'm being inconsiderate. It's just we don't think about it, and things change. Your brain structure kind of does something different when you are in the process of bearing down to give birth. So there's no witchcraft
right
in it. It's natural. It's all natural. It's actually more natural than the process of the medical interventions that have been created, to help mom. They have a place, but our place is to help mom have a labor and a birth as normal and natural to her as possible. Whether that includes meds or not. You may hear a lot of doulas say, we're completely against medication, but that's not true. If mom feels like that's something she needs, go for it. But if mom tells us that's something that she does not want unless medically necessary, then we are going to cheerlead, coach, breathe, pray, bathe, whatever it takes. We're going to do with mom to keep her on her goal to stay away from that medication. So there's no
can you guys hear her okay? They have the nice jazz playing. So I just want to make sure that you guys can catch every word, because my girl is dropping knowledge as always. So thank you guys so much for the hearts. Just check in with me and let me know if you can hear both of us okay. So before we started recording, you were talking about how the infant mortality rate in Rochester is so high. Can you...
Yeah, so we actually are number one in New York State in infant mortality rate, which means the baby dies before their first birthday. So the disclaimer to that was was the belief that a lot of our moms were allowing their babies to sleep on their stomach, and then, you know, they kind of were passing away from what was called SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, or other things. You know, they may be coughing and the baby's too young to turn over, type of deal. So there was this extreme push to educate all moms before they left the hospital on safe sleep for baby. All hospitals are mandated to do it, and they are happy to report that there have not been any deaths related to sleep issues over the past year. Okay, perfect. But that has not brought our numbers down to the level where they should be, which is no baby should be dying before their first birthday at all. A lot of that has to do really with our social economic desperation we have going on right now. Our poverty level here in this community is astronomical, especially when you look at the radius and how that poverty thins out substantially as we move further away from the inner city of Rochester. So, and this is just a 10-minute drive.
Right.
So it's very interesting, just to say the least on that note. But we are dedicated to definitely doing that parenting education so that moms, dads, everybody knows how to keep the environment safe for baby. But also that mom and dad or partner, whoever, is taking those necessary steps for themselves in self-care. And that begins before the mom is even pregnant. And unfortunately, we aren't always able to reach those women who need that care and that help to make them whole before they're pregnant. Now they're pregnant, and all we're looking at is vital signs. My interest is definitely jumping in right then. When I have a mom that's a doula, that is identified to me for my doula services, I'm trying to see how things are going for her elsewise. Is there anything that she's missing? Yes, we can help link you to resources to get you all the materials you may need, but how are you doing? How is that relationship doing? How is home life really looking, and what is that baby going to come into? Something that people don't realize is cortisol, which is the stress hormone inside of us. If you are stressed to a toxic level, that is tremendously impacting how your baby is being developed while still inside of you. Lord. Once that baby is outside of you, you pretty much had them start already behind the goal line, because their brain is it's almost like cold. It's already wired to be, stressed out, where we're saying, oh my goodness, my baby cries so much. Okay, well, what environment were you in when that baby was still in the womb? Wow, let me just flip it for 1 second. That's right. I'm always... Okay, so she does hit us some things, because often in education we'll say that learning starts at home. But she's talking about the things that start in the womb, what is inherited, that stress, what did you say, is cortisol? The cortisol hormone. The cortisol hormone, the trauma that is passed from mother to child. So that is just so interesting to me. And even when you think about the whole doula concept, it's basically doing what we used to do in the community as far as women coaching and helping each other. So let me just flip it back to Brandy. MJ, thank you for letting me know that you can, in fact, hear her. Thank you guys so much for the hearts. They are absolutely beautiful. And thank you for sharing this broadcast. If you know anybody who is pregnant, thinking about it, anybody who's interested in being a doula, this is something that our community absolutely needs. What's more important than raising these kids up right from the moment that they exist? Right. So I've asked you this before. Go back. Okay, I've asked you this before because I've always just been blown away with how community-minded you are. Where does that stem from? Good question. Well, I feel like it is necessary for me to give some credit to my stepfather, who, as we grew up, he was always, and still is, pro-black. He pretty much taught us to go out of our way to patronize somebody who looked like us before we went anywhere else, if possible. We grew up, he, owned his own car lot, and it was pretty much that pay it forward thing. I'm going to my community to get services and goods for them because I want them also to come to me to get services and goods. So that connection that we already had growing up, just it stayed with me. It stuck. I rather put my money in the hands of somebody who look like me than somebody who don't, but I also expect a certain quality to come from anybody that I'm getting goods or services.
Amen.
So I feel like it's important, it's vitally important that we do support each other and promote each other and just rise to a higher level. There's a lot of people with brown and black skin who got good things going on that need to be shared across the way, and it's just that simple for me. Like I love to do it, so I'm now instilling that into my child as simply as possible, and I'm just trying to support.
Right, you do support.
Yeah.
So please let us know, how can we support you?
Well, right now, my business is a work in progress as I obtain all my certifications. Okay. So it is the goal, and I guess I'm going to speak it to the world that
Amen.
By February 2016, I have my international certification as a doula. And once I have that, I am a trained doula, so I am doing doula cases now, but that international certification will open me up to a network of referrals that can come from Australia to Alaska.
All right.
And I'm really excited about the traveling portion that will be connected to the services I provide. In addition, I'm working on my yogi practice as I take this journey to gain certification in that. I want to not only be a prenatal yoga instructor, but also eventually move into the realm of meditation. Because if we are equipped with, coping skills that we can take with us, people always talk about what are your coping skills and, music and dancing and this and that. But we all need to have a skill, which to me is meditation, that you can do sitting in front of whoever, wherever, whenever, to keep yourself grounded and keep yourself at peace so that you can forge through to whatever else you need to do. And I don't know the words to express how important it is while pregnant, especially if you're in a situation where you happen to be alone. You need to be able to cope with yourself in the changes that are happening to you in the most positive and peaceful way, so that connection that is already being created with you and baby while they're in the womb is a nurturing one, that they will come out with peace and love from the beginning. So those are a few things. I'm also working towards gaining more education and knowledge in the parenting aspect. I'm getting my hands on training now, but I want all of the positive parenting images and information I can gather so that I can continue to be that resource for my moms that I'm working with, and really try to help change the mindset that they may have of desperation if they're in a situation, an environment, a relationship that is just traumatic and they don't know, or they think they don't know how. Like, I want to empower them that they do have the answer, and you do have the ability and the endurance and the strength to do something great.
Well, thank you so much. Alexandria said, she asked the same question, how can we support you? She says she has all of the books if you need them.
Awesome.
Right. So I already know y'all talk directly. Again, I just want to salute you because you and your support and how you patronize different Black-owned businesses. And you never know who's watching you. But you're cute, you fly, you're smart. So you doing that, that's setting an example for other people. So thank you, sis. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I told you yesterday, I have 2 thank you tour stops tonight. So in an hour or so, we'll have another scope coming up. That one is going to be interesting as well. I hope you guys can see why I absolutely love Brandy so much. If you know anybody in the Rochester area who needs her services, let's make this thing work. I love you all, and God bless.